If I had to give my top 5 favorite JT verses of all time, number 5 would be Young and Bad. That's the feature that they did with Bad Baby. Number 4 would be Broke Niggas. That would be off of their City on Lock album. Number 3 would be Clear the Air. That was off of the Period mixtape. Number 2 would be the feature that she did with Stunner Girl. And number 1, I think this is everybody's favorite JT verse. Of course, I'm talking about the feature she did with Moneybagg Yo, featuring the Baby, and that would be the Say Something remix. So the Princess of Rap, JT, she is going on a solo tour and people are mad. Let's figure out what's going on. But before we do that, theme song. So recently, JT announced that she is going on a solo promotional tour. And people are feeling some type of way about this. And I'm like, why? What's the problem? You know, haters are saying, oh, the City Girls are over. Why is she going on a solo tour when she only has 2 or 3 solo songs? Why can't she just go on tour with Nicki Minaj and be the opening act for the Pink Print 2 tour? Just a whole bunch of bullshit. So me, as one of a City Girls stan, I love the City Girls. Maybe it's because I was born and raised in Miami. I feel like the City Girls are like my cousins. I am going to provide a lot of context to a lot of these conversations so we can understand why JT is doing a solo tour on her own. And instead of y'all bitching about it, why don't we just support her? How about that? How about that? So first up, let's address the elephant in the room. Are the City Girls over? Here's the thing. I don't understand why everybody wants the City Girls to be over so bad, because I vividly remember when the Migos decided to do their own solo endeavors. Quavo dropped a solo album. Offset dropped a solo album. Takeoff dropped a solo album. And then the next year, they all came back together in 2020 and they dropped Culture 3. So I'm trying to figure out, were there rumors that the Migos are over, that the Migos were breaking up because everybody decided to do their solo projects? No. So why do y'all have that energy for the City Girls? Ray Sherman, back in 2018, Sway Lee, he went on his own little solo run. He got a diamond selling record with Post Malone. It's called Sunflower for the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack. And then he has a multi-platinum single, Rich French Montana, but technically it's kind of his song, not French Montana's song, because Sway Lee did the majority of the vocal work for the song. It's called Unforgettable. And I'm confused. Were there a lot of Ray Sherman is over, Ray Sherman is breaking up conversations when Sway Lee was doing his own thing? I think not, because in 2023, they came together and released Shrimp for Life. So if the members of Migos was able to do their own solo situation and get back together and do a group album, if the members of Ray Sherman was able to do their own solo situation and get back together and do a group album, why can't both City Girls do their own solo endeavors, gain their own success, and when they're ready, come back together and do another group album? Why do y'all want the City Girls to break up so bad? I'm really trying to understand, like, why do y'all require drama between the City Girls? And a lot of y'all are saying, oh, JT is selfish, JT is inconsiderate, because why is JT doing her own solo run? She always wanted to go solo because she knows she was the strongest rapper in the group, and she's just leaving Young Miami in the dust. Young Miami is JT's biggest cheerleader. Young Miami is JT's biggest supporter. Young Miami has always campaigned for JT to go on these radio stations, do freestyles, drop some solo work, and let these people know that she is the princess of rap. Young Miami is always pushing towards JT to be the best that she can be because Young Miami sees the potential that JT has to offer.
How you feel about people calling you princess of rap? Because I really, really, really like you. One of my favorite rappers in this generation.
I agree with
in this generation. Like every time when we do a song and you see your verse back, I'll be like, I'm waiting on her.
And he be like, I want you to do this. I want you to get on there and do that. And I be like,
I be telling her that
baby,
too.
I'm like in a group. I'm here to just get my job and go. Like I'm just not trying to go out there in no break.
But why? You do it so good.
So again, I say, why do y'all want the City Girls to be over so badly? They're not breaking up. Get over it and shut y'all damn mouth. Now back to the main topic at hand. Why is JT deciding to do a solo tour when she has a big enough fan base via the City Girls and she has her own following? Why is she doing a solo tour? In a lot of the places that JT is performing at, they're either clubs, they're either lounges, or they're very, very, very small venues. So people are like raising weird flags. JT is such a big artist. Why is she starting from step one? I have a couple of theories. Let's talk about theory number one. The album sales. When their last project, Raw, was released, it only sold 10,000 copies in the first week. Now, there's plenty of factors that has gone into this. There was no type of rollout. There was no type of press tour. There was no type of single lined up. Also, a lot of people feel like the actual album should have been released in the summertime instead of being released in the fall time, which I so happen to agree with. But both Young Miami and JT put it out there that they do not have management and they are usually just relying on the culture to push their music.
I'm just gonna keep it real. Like you can't get nowhere if you don't keep it real. I just feel like it was poor management. At the time, what was moving us for real is culture. We hide, everybody on the label, we hide. But when you want something, like I said, you're gonna get what you put in and put what you put out. And you have to work hard for stuff. You can't think that culture is gonna keep moving you. You have to get in, you have to put in the work, and you have to go hard and grind hard to like stand out.
And I'm so glad that JT brought up this point because this is what's going on in the industry. A lot of these artists, especially the rap girls, I really feel like these labels are relying on the social media following from these artists. You know, this person has 5 million followers. This person has 6 million followers. This person has 3 million followers. And they see the number of followers and they think, okay, so all we need to do is promote their music on social media, hope that it goes viral, and hope it's going to gain success in terms of their mixtapes, album sales, single sales, charting, hitting platinum, all of the above. But here's the thing, it's not just the City Girls that are a victim of low album sales. Coi Leray, low album sales. Lotto, low album sales. Sweetie, low album sales. Ice Spice, low album sales. Sexy Red, low album sales. These labels are not recognizing that relying on the internet and relying on virality is not going to allow your artists to produce the numbers that are required for them to produce in terms of selling music. So JT knows that. JT recognizes that. And so before she drops her own, I'm assuming she's going to drop her own album because she said in a tweet that she does have a project coming out. We don't know if it's an album, mixtape, or EP, but it is a project. So before JT is getting ready to drop her solo project, she is going back to square one. And square one is doing a promotional tour. All the greats have been known to doing promotional tours. They only have a small catalog of music, but they are go performing at malls, at clubs, at strip clubs, at radio stations, performing at any local venue, cultivating their fans, building up a strong image and a strong fan base. So when it's time for their albums to come back, it can be a positive guarantee that their music is going to sell because they have their own big bulk of supporters that's going to buy their music. I have seen this play out time and time again. Let's take it back to Usher. Usher's debut album, it was a self-titled project. It flopped. It flopped so hard that L.A. Reid was considered dropping him from the label. So his mother became Usher's manager, and guess what they did? They went on a promotional tour. Usher was performing everywhere, building up his fan base, working on his stage presence, working on his performance skills, working on his dancing skills, working on his interaction with the audience and the interaction with the crowd. And as soon as the My Way album came up, it reached financial success. It went platinum because all the supporters that Usher gained by going on this promotional run, they came to support this album.
It was unclear if Usher would be asked to record a second album, so he and his mother took matters into their own hands. In the summer of 1995, they set out on a tour, booked primarily by themselves.
Mother, she was going to be as hard as she had to and knock on every door.
We went into every little hole there was to go in.
And everywhere I went, I terrorized it. Radio shows, clubs. I can remember performing in strip clubs. It was crazy.
The crowds grew larger in every town, convincing the label that Usher's fan base was expanding.
I really saw him grow. I saw him getting stronger as a singer. I saw him growing as an entertainer.
J. Cole. J. Cole revealed in an interview, this is an old interview by the way, that his label, his management, Roc Nation, and himself, and a lot of hip-hop magazines and corporations, they didn't think that J. Cole was going to have a lot of success in terms of first week sales because J. Cole did not have a big radio, a big club hit, unlike the rest of his peers. But when his album came out, he sold 200,000 in the first week. Big numbers for a debut album. How did J. Cole do it? Well, J. Cole revealed that he put out his mixtapes and he went on a promotional tour. He was performing at small venues. People are coming to see J. Cole perform across the United States. And every single show that he was doing, he was causing impact. He was gaining more and more supporters. He was growing his fan base. It didn't have nothing to do with social media. It did not have nothing to do with how many Instagram followers he had, Twitter followers he had. J. Cole was going out there performing his music, and by the time it was time for his debut album to come out, it sold.
And you ended up selling like over 200,000 copies in your first week with your debut album.
Absolutely.
Was that a testament to the fact that you did so much work on the road, on the business side, and that you built fan by fan?
Right, absolutely. When I did those numbers, 220-something thousand or 217,000, nobody expected that. Nobody in the industry expected it. I didn't even know I was going to do those numbers. And what that was just a result of consecutive, non-stop touring, and also a combination of releasing free projects. You take these mixtapes, these classic mixtapes, mixed with my touring, you develop a real fan base. They didn't see that when I go do these shows and it's 1,000 kids outside, or I'm going to Toronto and I'm selling it and it's 4,000 kids in Toronto, or I go to LA and it's 3,000. They don't see that. You know, they didn't know if that translated to sales. So what we learned is a real solid fan base is way more important than a record at radio or in the clubs, because you have rappers right now who would love to switch positions with me, but they're way hotter than me. They got way more songs than me on the radio. They got way more songs than me in the club. I don't have a lot of club records that move the club. But I go in the club and I hear 1 million songs from this rapper, 1 million songs from that rapper, but that rapper can't sell the records I sell because he's not connecting to the people the way that I am.
So listen, y'all, JT is not stupid. She knows what's up. She sees the criticisms. She see all the shit talking. She's not going to put herself out there for her to be a failure. No, she is taking it back from square one and she is re-establishing herself as a solo artist. I'm here for it. I cannot wait to see what JT brings. I love No Bars and I love Sideways. And Sideways is doing crazy on TikTok. Everybody's creating their own dance and whatnot. And Sideways itself, it didn't chart on the Billboard Hot 100. She sees this. She knows this. And JT is not sitting on the sideline saying, you know what, well, I'm just going to have to put another hit out and expect it to go viral and expect it to chart. You know, and people are asking, well, why won't JT just go on the Pink Print 2 tour and open up for Nicki Minaj? That is the audience of Nicki Minaj. That is the audience of her fan base. The Barbs, Team Minaj, Kim Barbs, whatever. JT wants her own fan base. She doesn't want to share the fan base with Nicki Minaj. Yes, she can. You know, there's a massive crowd and a massive support system. But just because Nicki Minaj likes an artist and just because Nicki Minaj aligns herself with an artist does not mean that all of her fans are going to follow suit and all of her fans are going to dedicate and demonstrate the same loyalty in terms of financially supporting another artist outside of Nicki Minaj. She wants to establish her own. She wants to gain her own fan base of that magnitude. This is what Nicki Minaj did, so JT is going to follow suit. So I feel like a lot of these artists need to take it back to square one, get on tour, a small promotional tour, do small venues, put your ego to the side. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. It doesn't matter who you collab with. If you worked with Drake, worked with Nicki Minaj, worked with J. Cole, worked with Wale, it don't matter about any of that. Put your pride to the side, get your ass on stage, whether you're performing at a club, a mall, a small venue, and perform your music. I would just like to say I am extremely excited for the potential that JT has to offer. She has been making a lot of moves and I have been keeping track of all of the moves, especially when it comes into fashion, especially when it comes into imaging, these collabs that she's doing with these designers, these photo shoots that she's doing with these brands. But JT is putting herself out there to be multifaceted and every aspect in terms of the music business. So I am excited for what JT is about to bring us. So hopefully JT is performing in a city near you. I wish she was performing in Atlanta, but she's not. I don't know what the reason is, but okay, JT. I already seen her in concert multiple times and I've seen Young Miami in concert multiple times. I'm not really pressed that JT does not have an Atlanta date on her promotional tour. Like, I'm not pressed, but I'm pressed, but I'm not pressed. Regardless of the situation, I know it's going to be a wonderful show. I know she's going to improve her stage presence. I know she's going to improve her stamina. I know she's going to improve her energy on stage. I know she is going to gain the following and the fan base that she requires because JT is a hard worker. JT is extremely talented. In my opinion, JT is one of the best current rap girls out right now, and she's a problem. I mean, she got the skill, she got the flow, she got the looks, she got the bars. She definitely has the bars. Like, JT is a spitter. So I really feel like from 2024 through 2025, this is going to be a JT era, and I'm excited. I'm Team JT over here. She is my princess of rap. I do want to see JT work with more brands. I do want to see JT in more fashion themed imagery. I do want to see more solo music from JT. I just want to see JT tap into the potential that we all know that she possesses. Now I'm going to be there cheering her on because she deserves it. I appreciate you guys for making it all the way to the end of this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And keep up with me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The links are in the description box below. And I will see you on the next episode.